I'm telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
I'm your huckleberry.
Bring out Jadid!
All I'm offering is the truth.
I'm just a happy camper.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
Take off, eh?
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I am a HAL 9000 computer. Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
I'm rich and I'm dead sexy.
Hail to the king, baby. Groovy.
It's good to be the king.
I'm your father, Luke. Give in to the dark side of the Force, you knob.
Leon's getting larger.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Something strange happened to me this morning. Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? No. Why am I the only person that has that dream?
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Beef jerky?
Oh, no, son, thank you very much. No, it gives me the wind, something terrible.
Oh.
Sorry, I farted.
Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar. What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
And you know, when you say per capita, there's many per capita. It's just like per capita relative to what?
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
All right. Who wants some? Who's next?
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world known as the Pentaveret, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaveret?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Friday. It's going to be a high and tight show today because I have a show at 7 o'clock on the Flappers Thingamadoodle, and I'll be posting a link on the Patreon how to watch it. So, yeah, right after we're done, because they're supposed to send me one, and I'm waiting on it. But, yeah, there you go. If you haven't, if you're not a Patreon supporter or any other thing, you can just watch the show. You just go to Flappers website, and that there's links in the chat room that happen a lot. Thank you for that. Happy 4th early, happy 3rd. let's can we just start right off the bow of the ship, as it were, as we're plowing through the crushed. I'll come up with an analogy later. I love the 4th of July. I really genuinely do. And maybe it comes from the fact that I don't drink. I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life, and I'm not going to drink, and I have no interest in drinking. That it never turned into a barbecue holiday for me because of that very thing. It was certainly, we went to, little gatherings of people's houses, but it was more about getting together as Americans and celebrating it actually as an Independence Day holiday. It has value. I mean, I know crapping on American history is a lazy pastime currently, but I'm a fan of the little experiment in democracy we've got going on here, and I do find it superior to the monarchies, however flimsy, and certainly the dictatorships and the failed states in the world. And I think, while we could, there are elements of our democracy we could tune up. The idea that we're the flagship in this armada of democracy, has some meaning, and I actually take that very seriously. I like it as a holiday. I think it is a holy day in a lot of ways. It's certainly in the way that human beings interact. It genuinely has meaning for me. And if it doesn't have meaning for you, then neither does democracy, I would argue. If you can't see that part of it, then you are clamoring for its alternative, I would say. Yeah, thanks. My hair looks good today. What's my secret? Leaving it alone. I did nothing. Honestly. I woke up with my hair like this. This is the least maintenance my hair has ever needed. It's a little Beatlesy, and I do have a little bit of a Superman thing happening here. The kittens, I'm not kidding. The kittens have started batting at that thing. They think it's a strings. The kittens get on the. I'm like playing with this kitten. I'm like, this kitten loves me. It's so adorable. It wants to be so close to me. I'm bonding with this animal, and then it looks slightly up, and I'm like, oh no, and it goes attack, attack. Like, God, it doesn't like me at all. It just thinks my hair is a rat tail or something and wants to attack. Thanks. Look at that. Thank you, Cosmic Rose. Patreon number 274. That's right. Oh, we got 274. That's our goal is 500. Or of course, one whale. That would be, yeah. If we had like one 5,000 a monther, then nobody'd have to do anything. You guys could just sit back and crack your knuckles. But until that happens, every little bit helps. So thank you. And we have get a flat top. I may shave my head at some point. I may move past all this and decide, I've never in my life shaved my head. So I might at the end of this, as a we're out of quarantine thing, just completely, just maybe eyebrows too, just all body hair gone. Something like that. And thanks for everybody that's joining us on Facebook. I apologize ahead of time for how your neighbors will behave. Apparently there's a thing on Facebook where people come to my page and my broadcast, get in my chat room and ask me why I think I have the right to say what I'm saying. Please tell me you're drunk. Please tell me do you go into other people's houses and change the channel on their television set? What's wrong with you? Hey, Rob, hi, how are you? Happy 4th, brother. Hope you are well. So I think that's one of the funniest things about Facebook. And it's particularly, there's some Periscope assholes are the same way. But a lot of times, like, it'll float that, in your Twitter feed. Sometimes it'll punch it up there if it's getting enough attention. And we got a lot of eyeballs on us, kids. We got a decent size, and we have had for quite a while, a decent size chat room in here. But even beyond that, the number of eyeballs on the show, and I've just been peeking at the analytics, are increasing. Yeah, it's we're not quite in NASDAQ territory, or COVID-19 case territory, but we're on an upslope and a solid one, and I thank you guys for coming, or however you react. The yes, apparently idiots in chat do happen. And anyways, so I'm a big fan of 4th of July. I support it as a holiday, and I also put it more in line with Memorial Day and Labor Day, as a because the respect for people who've died on Memorial Day and the progress that we've made in terms of people being able to pull themselves out of poverty, of which this country has always been on the vanguard of, no matter what you've been told. The 4th of July kind of falls right in the middle of that. We've been able to pick our leaders, for better or worse, for over 200 years. And in compared to a lot of other countries, we're just teenagers. We're, compared to Germany or some of the other, we're 15 years old, which makes sense in our behavior, because at 15, we're completely fixated on boobs and have just found our dad's gun. As a country, we need a little guidance occasionally, a little tough love. But I think we'll grow up to be fine, upstanding members of the community in that regard. That said, it's what's definitely worse now. Things are definitely not worse now. Things are worse than they were 4 years ago, but better than they were 40 years ago, or 50, really. I think the growth of humanity is a lot like the stock market. It's kind of always going up from when its inception, but it has these big dips in it where someone acts a fool or some algorithm starts trading on what stuff is supposed to have worth, and then the whole thing crashes and we have to build it from scratch. And thank you, Joyce, from the whale watching group. Darcy blows. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we definitely see more of the awful these days. Which, I've warned you guys about this in the past. I've brought this up several times, that when you see something in your feed, thank you, Cassie. I consider I intend to have luck. Thank you. That when you see stuff in your feed on social media, or stuff show up, in news on Twitter or Facebook, or something rolls through your Instagram as either a post by someone you know or someone you know bumped that up, or worse, a boosted or sponsored post in it, you are not seeing the world, okay? Social media is like a window. You will only ever see out the direction it is facing. You cannot look out a south-facing window and see north. If you look out an east-facing window, all you will think is that the sun comes up. You will not be aware of it setting and coming back around. Imagine that kind of directional thought and thinking, okay? And so when you look at anything that shows up, viral videos are, the worst especially. And a lot of it is, and it's why bots and troll farms have such an easy time making us all hate each other, is because they'll take a clip that has that's 30 seconds long, has 20 minutes shaved off the front of it, and 8 minutes shaved off the back, and you're supposed to make a decision about the people and everyone involved based on that 30 or 45 seconds. And you can't help but not, because it's the most dramatic part. But tell me who's the good guy from one battle scene in Walking Dead, if there are any at all. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's crucial that people maintain your perspective. You know what I mean? And that definitely, by the way, some people are saying that applies to what Trump says. Trump says one phrase over and over and over again, making you think that window is, to his thought, his world or whatever, is the only view there is. And it works on a lot of his followers. And you can't call those people idiots rightly, and then behave like them when other stuff comes through. And somebody says TikTok is now infected. TikTok is malware. Let me tell you something, okay? Twitter and Facebook being what they are, and as sketchy as their security settings are, they've been around and vetted for a good long while. As has Instagram to some degree, but I mean, it's purchased by Facebook. They're owned by the same company. But understand that there are going to be a lot of new social media things popping up trying to take people who are either disenchanted with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat and kind of offer a new feature and try to get you like to jump on the bandwagon of this. And TikTok specifically hired a shit ton of celebrities to boost and push this. You know, always saw these people going, I'm on TikTok, here's my TikTok, this is my TikTok, because getting it on the ground floor of a new site that takes off benefits you long term, because you'll be one of the people with the biggest fan count on there, especially if the people running the thing put you in the already signed up thing. In the early days of Twitter, you were automatically set up to follow like 10 or 15 people. Ashton Kutcher was one of them. Remember the big battle between Ashton Kutcher and CNN, who would have 1 million followers first? And by the way, to all my agents and everyone who's saying that the sheer number of followers that you have is indicative of how successful you are, understand that 1 million followers, and I was in a movie with the dude, never resulted in more butts in seats in movie theaters. Not a one. If anything, it kind of dimmed it a little. Because there was Ashton was definitely on an arc upward, and punk being what it is, that's a whole other sidecar conversation. And the dude's talent, relatively decent dude. We share an executive producer, Mark Brazil, who did That 70s Show, also did Lab Rats. We had a lot of intertwining people over there. Mark's a genuinely lovely human being. That said, in the early days of Twitter, they boosted his account. You automatically signed up. And TikTok did a lot of that with, a lot of celebrities that they had to give them an automatic, like, look, I'm any of these people. Yeah, and Can't Stop Lying brings up you can buy followers. Somebody, I think, in the order of like every time Justin Timberlake put out an album, they would buy 5 million more followers. And of his 24 million followers, all but 3 million are fake, was the thing. And that's pretty normal. It's a marketing scheme now to seem like you had this ton of followers instead of followers you actually care about, followers you actually engage with. Like, there's a huge difference between my chat and the nonsense that flails by and on OAN. You know what I mean? This isn't a bunch of strangers spamming each other. We have a community here. That's why we have a Discord. That's why people have been around for a long time. So Timberlake bought MySpace. How's that doing? What do you do? Bump all 24 million of his fake followers over to there? So point being is, all that aside, TikTok is malware. All these new pieces of software, all they want is access to your mic and your camera and your photos and your links in most cases, because what they find, is that a lot of this software, by giving it an okay, you're also okaying it to notice when it sends you notifications and other things. They have to intertwine with other notifications, and however your Safari or your Chrome is set up on your phone, they can see what you're searching for, your search results and all that kind of stuff, and tailor ads to you. And in tailoring ads, they also just straight up download everything on your phone. And TikTok is the worst so far. Yeah, the IT folks at work came out with a recommendation to delete TikTok from work and personal devices. It is, quite frankly, it's corporate espionage. That's what it's for. That's the whole purpose of the TikTok app. It's dumb. And basically they went, hey, Snapchat has access to everybody's, text messages and their contacts, because all of them also ask for your contacts because you can send them personal videos, right? So can we have access to your contacts? Okay, what's in your contacts? Everybody's birthday, everybody's address, everybody's phone number, all your pictures, all their pictures, all the pictures that they've sent to you and you've sent to them. Hello. Thank you. Zoom said not to laugh. See you tonight, Patty. Yes. No, I do not get nervous at all. Yeah. A lot of times Tracy Pouble will put credit card information in their phone. And it's in the notes section sometimes. It's just stupid. So my point is like, if you're on a couple of sites, that's fine. And if new sites pop up, give it a good year before you decide to dive in. If you want to open an account, for example, like so that somebody doesn't steal your name on a new account, because I do that every time a new thing comes out. I didn't do it on TikTok because I already knew about it in China before I came over here. When I was over there traveling, it was making its debut. And I was like, nah, pass. But in all these sites, that's why I have @HalSparks on Twitter and Instagram, is because I learned early to jump in, grab my name as a professional and as a human being, and hold on to it so that I didn't have to deal with squatters later on, right? Well, in this case, I don't do it on a phone or a mobile device. I will sign up for a site on a web browser, because they don't link that into, can we have access to your photos and unless you post something. And then I just squat on the channel myself. And if it turns out to be okay later, and they have good enough privacy settings, I'll use it, right? But until then, forget it. No way. So, anyways, that's just my warning right out of the gate. TikTok is malware. Delete, delete, delete. And I don't even know how we kind of got on that from the 4th of July, but we'll just stick to it. America, freedom. And I'm proud not to be on TikTok, where at least I know I'm free. So, just telling you. The other thing is, I know what it was because we're being led around by our nose. The other aspect of a lot of these social media sites is they hook you through posts and videos and viral videos. Rocky Mountain Mike, thank you so much. I've got a refund instead of having to pay taxes. How fun. Oh, thanks. From the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. I'm so NPR right now. I feel like I should be wearing a sweater vest. And thank you, Lisa Mia Moore. So on the one hand, a lot of these sites, and TikTok is Chinese owned, there's a lot of reason why they don't want a stable America, the same way Russia doesn't. Russia just can't come up with a social media platform of its own that sells. VK isn't going to translate. It looks like it's just a copy of Facebook. So basically, they just weaseled their way into Facebook. And until Facebook sets up or has set up warnings that say, hey, this comes from the United States, or this comes from South America, or whatever. And by the way, if you guys don't know what a VPN is, all that stuff is BS anyways. Okay? Like the idea that you're like, oh, this account is in South America. No. The VPN it's on is bouncing it through South America. That doesn't mean it's actually there. When I was traveling in China, and when I travel overseas in some countries where I'm a little worried about privacy and whatnot, or where people are lax in their own security, and if you go in a coffee house and use their Wi-Fi, people are stealing stuff. You use a VPN, a virtual private network, and it basically pretends that it takes everything out of your computer, puts it in a bottleneck, and sends it to another server overseas somewhere else. And then the information comes from there instead of just floating through the air. It just encrypts it like it's sending it out. And as far as anybody else is concerned, your computer is in Switzerland or Hong Kong or whatever. And so, like, I've had to use those in the past. A lot of these, like, troll farms and stuff, they just use VPNs and bounce stuff through these things. They're like, oh, these are all Brazilian accounts. Yeah, sure they are. So, AB0807 says, yes, I only use VPN in Cambodia and Vietnam. Yeah, boy, hiking from Thailand to Cambodia That's some scary shit. That's like, yeah. That's like Epstein Island kind of crazy stuff. Like, no one is watching out for you. That's a gnarly place to be. But point I'm trying to make is, yeah, don't use free VPNs. Pay for one. Absolutely right. Can't stop lying. But the point I'm trying to make is that the accounts that are online and these things, there are things that are true in life, but they're not more true than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who are, you know, like, I guess to use what's the normal thing is nonviolent drug offenders. There are nonviolent drug offenders who are arrested at a clip in this country. That's true. But it's not more true than violent offenders who also have drug charges against them that are not linked to the violence. So somebody gets out of their car, shoots at a cop, you know, that kind of stuff. But they also had a personal amount of drugs in the car. The charge isn't going to be gun used in drug offense. It's simply going to be possession, which is a nonviolent drug offense. But they were arrested for shooting a cop. You understand what I'm saying? But if all you see, if one thing comes up, and it's true, this is true, it's verifiably true, but there's 30,000 other things that are on an equal par with it that make it unextraordinary, but none of them get the boost online, you're going to think this is more true than the 30,000 other things. Does this make sense to anybody? You see where I'm going with this? And what it makes you think is that there's an imbalance where there may not be an imbalance. So you will be, and this is going to be in politics, this is going to be in criminal justice, this is going to be in economics, this is going to be in healthcare, this is just like, we are in an age of anecdotal bait posts. You know what I'm saying? This is where you're going to use an anecdote to bait you into believing that it is factual or more important than every other anecdote someone else could possibly do. And this is what the president does with hydroxychloroquine and all that kind of stuff. This is not surprising. Hey, Carl. So what I'm going to, you know, and some of you, and Carl especially, you've heard me talk about this in the past. You've heard me state this multiple times, and it needs to be reiterated because it happens all the time. Whenever you see a viral post or a post that's going viral that is flooding your timeline, it's going, oh my God, here's another person commenting on that video that's coming through my feed or whatever. For everything you're staring at, there are 12 billion other things you are not seeing at all. And make sure that you are not being hooked in the nose and dragged. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's right. Yeah. You have to be prepared. You're going to be on social media that this is going to happen. And there are bad actors outside in the world, the Russian, Chinese, Saudi, bot farms, political parties, non-political parties that are going to invest money in making you chase like a laser pointer, you know, like a cat does. That's the goal, is make you chase that when you should be focusing on other things. And if you'll notice, for a lot of lately, and what's really got me on this is this stupid thing, how the lie about VA choice just carried when Trump said it, and everybody just, I don't know. And, you know, it must be true. He says it so often. And nobody bothered to even look it up. And it's a super easy thing to put back. Don't say that crap in my timeline, Osama. Sorry. Bye. No. So this is crucial. And he keeps saying this stuff, and all people in the news would go, what's he talking about? That passed in 2014. End of conversation. But what they do is you just let it roll, and it ends up being a gish gallop with one hoof. I don't get it. 4 questions of the Trump Seder. Why is the lie different from other lies? Yeah. Oh, no worries, Carl. I got it. But yeah. So, hi everybody on Twitch, by the way. Welcome. Good to see you guys hanging out. Those of you that are in the in the chat room with us as well. Everybody on the regular YouTube channel. Infotainmentwars.com is the real site. That's where you need to go, to the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like and subscribe it. Follow. There's a follower. That's good. This way. Sorry. So yeah. So today, let's just say that today I'm gonna keep it fairly high and tight, mainly because Trump's weird Mount Rushmore gathering is tonight, where he just is gonna make jokes about how he deserves to be up there. Holy shit! For the next like 3 months. Ridiculous. I think you're seeing inputs that I don't see here on YouTube. Yes, I am, Carl. I think, but they were on YouTube, but I dumped them. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Christina. I'm looking forward to the show tonight as well. I wonder what I'm going to say. So hi. Thanks, Rosie. Is that what it is? Rosie. I like that. I like what you said. I see what you did there. Hollyberry, thanks for getting the Flappers tickets. So there's the Sioux don't want him there on the sovereign nation. Yeah, well, the Pawnee don't want the Sioux there either. So don't get me started on disputed territories. Go look up where the Sioux got their name. Yeah. So thanks, Tracy. People don't care about the lies anymore, I don't think. There was a good article about the Dem ads working better when they connected the behavior to actual events like COVID or Floyd protests. Absolutely. I don't think they like his lying is just so normal at this point. But there are 2 areas, the economy and the vets, where people kind of go, well, that's a good thing that he did that. It's good that he did that or whatever, which are all lies. So, and can be handled without a lot of back and forth is my point. Yeah. There you go. So, all right, couple of things. One is, and by the way, I just thought this was kind of funny. You guys know I'm no fan of the Chop or the Chaz. I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's a bunch of LARPing nonsense. And there's been a lot of like straight up violence and sexual violence that people have gotten away with because it happened inside this Chop nonsense. And there were rapes and robberies and assaults and like a 16-year-old black kid got shot and the guy with him was killed, and they were unarmed, and they were killed by Chop security forces. And then they ransacked the vehicle and the body after the bodies were dragged out onto the cement. Please. So, like, these guys, just assholes. Like, come on, Seattle, get your act together. And I don't mean the city, the rest of the city. I mean those folks. So, anyways, they busted one of the guys. There was a big foot race. This was on local news, KIRO, in Seattle. Hold on, let me make sure this comes up. Because here it is. Done. Here we go. I've gotta size this out. There you go. It's the way they phrase it is pretty funny. Video freeway foot race ends with leader of former Chop Zone in handcuffs. This freeway foot race. That's what you're gonna call it? What does that sound like to you? Freeway foot race ends in, like, he just ran and then ran down the freeway And then he ran down the freeway. Okay, never mind the fact that he stole a car and was driving the wrong way on the freeway and crashed into other vehicles and a police car. They surrounded the police car, or the car, to hold it in place because he was trying to escape. And then he jumped over the... Well, you'll see. This is... Come on. Come on. I just think there's one funny part of this. This always strikes me as kind of funny. And bless this guy's heart for trying. Honest to God.
In handcuffs. That arrest happened this morning, just after 9:30 on I-5 near the convention center.
In case you guys are setting up your national treasure map.
KIRO 7's Gary Horker joins us now live.
Gary Horker. I'm sorry. I mean, come on. And I don't know what...
It took a while, but now we're
learning. It did, Gary. First of all, the fashion on KIRO is not to be messed with. She's got this polka dot kind of onesie pajama look, and he's making me think I have like Bio 101 homework I didn't turn in.
Details about what led up to that chase.
Well, gee, what led up to it?
Right, and there is a lot of information regarding this investigation.
Dude, can you put down your phone for 1 second? Can't the family have dinner without you being on your phone nonstop?
That SPD
Gary Horker.
Not reveal yet because it's still an active case. We do know this. It started on Broadway, near where I'm standing, near the former chop zone where all those protests...
And by the way, is that bus just like, has it careened into oncoming traffic? Is this the Matrix or Doctor Strange? Is it just frozen in time?
...are gathered behind us early this morning. We know that suspect was wanted for a felony investigation, and after it went on to I-5 and a...
Yeah, the felony investigation where he stole the car and drove onto the freeway, that part?
Wild foot chase, this is what was caught on video.
Oh boy. This is the part that was caught on video. And by the way, there's Twitter video of this from other people too.
He jumped? Watch as Seattle police who...
So, I don't know where he was. He was by the wall, if you can see him over there. He just hops the wall. I think he ran one way and then ran the other way.
The suspect looked down onto I-5.
I'm like, don't get run over by a cop, dude. You got a good, you got a good lead. Don't lose it. And here's the problem. Like, looking at that, I'm like, uh-oh, there's just a hop wall there, and then he's done, and then there's another hop wall, probably a ladder, and he's gone. It's apparently elevated.
Away here from officers.
Ah, that's a long way down. Okay, so notice how the cops all slow themselves down.
He sprints all the way across the active interstate and jumps over a Jersey barrier onto an exit ramp below, and he disappears under an overpass. Now,
and then...
minutes later, KIRO 7 cameras spot that suspect, who is now in pain from being injured.
Okay, he jumped the wall, and I think he busted his ankle. And now the cops are helping him, okay? He drove a car wrong way down the freeway, crashed it, could have killed somebody, runs across oncoming traffic, jumps down a wall, and just, this is not the way to go out, man. I mean, honestly, look, here it is. The guys he was running from a second ago, here they are. How's your ankle? You okay? You all right, man? It hurts. It really hurts. It really hurts. It's bad. I think it really hurts.
Suspect who is now in pain from being injured.
How did he get injured? He jumped a wall that he thought was 3 feet tall and went over the embankment.
Being treated by paramedics.
I'm sorry, but like that's just...
While police question him.
Dude, they were gonna get you. Just go. Do community service. You'll end up painting over the paint you painted. Thank you, Dark Fae.
By an abandoned Nissan.
Yeah, an abandoned Nissan. It wasn't abandoned. He crashed it and left it. It wasn't abandoned. Look at the names on these titles. Freeway Foot Race ends with leader of former chop zone in handcuffs. No, it doesn't. It ends with him on a gurney, for one. Secondly, that's the car he stole and crashed and abandoned and then ran away and then jumped over it. Come on, man.
Pathfinder, police say, was stolen, appeared to have crashed in traffic.
Oh, by itself? Oh my God. Kit has not only lost his mind, but he's not like
allegedly being driven by this same suspect.
What do you mean allegedly by driven? It didn't drive itself. There's only one person missing from all the drivers on the freeway. I mean, like, it's just funny. This is just
became a very familiar
like, I hope his ankle's okay. But
face during the 22-day CHOP.
This guy's he's been in the CHOP stuff a bunch or whatever. This is like the equivalent of some people who, like, remember Al Capone had charities? There's a lot of like dudes who are engaged in some really sketchy activity who are trying to gain like kind of community cred and rehabilitate themselves in the CHOP by being anti-cop. And it just didn't work out, especially when, watch this, the footage they show.
We're holding the precinct down. We're holding the precinct hostage.
We're holding the precinct hostage.
Sources tell
No, the cops didn't lose him on the underpass. He just slowed down and they caught him. He stopped running on the other side. It's the video picks up on the other side of it.
The 21-year-old man was well known as a leader within the CHOP movement.
First of all, why does the CHOP have leaders? I thought it was a collective.
You guys are all standing in this space right now.
He was invited to
You're not allowed to stand here. This is a free space.
represent CHOP in a closed-door negotiation with Seattle's
Masks do not work inside if you wear them like that.
Mayor Jenny.
There was a lady at the store today who had her mask down below her nose. I'm like, what are you doing?
Last week.
Like, look at him. Like, you cannot be here. You cannot be here. Well, I'm going to be here.
On Monday, police reform activist Andre Taylor was confronted by River.
As long as your mouth is shut, I don't care. As long as your mouth is shut, be here. You ain't from here. Then you're not even going to have a peaceful. You're not going to talk on no camera peacefully then. Then the camera's going to catch us talking like this.
Security stepped in and kept it from getting worse, but River was hurt.
What security?
Telling Taylor to leave.
Nobody run up on you, partner.
Now, Kyra 7 is not naming.
Like, and the inside drama of the CHOP is hilarious. It has a very it reminds me of kind of like YouTubers, when they turn on each other. Yeah. No, he means Liberty. He's asking if I'm based. I think he means if I'm right leaning or something. The answer is no. I'm just not stupid. But yeah, this is ridiculous. But the point is and then they do this whole little side story. It's a well-cut story.
The suspect, because
talk about this, and then this is how he ends up. Like, with the police making sure he is safely strapped in and loaded into on a gurney into an ambulance with his busted ankle that he broke himself by running across the freeway against oncoming traffic after crashing a car and threatening the lives of cops for weeks, by the way. And this is he's on a mattress pad being loaded into a vehicle, making sure that he gets all of it. Yeah.
He's not been charged.
Oh, based means logical? I see. Yes, I'm logical. Then.
He was wanted for a felony involving stolen property.
You mean the car on the freeway?
They say the chase began very close to where the CHOP zone was cleared by officers.
Where the car went missing. This is such a weird story. Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
It was yesterday after protesters ran the place for 3 weeks.
Isn't based the right-wing version of woke? Right? Because wasn't, like, there's some woman who was called Based Mom because of Gamergate or something like that. I can't, I want to say she's Canadian, but they called her Based Mom. Is the opposite of bias. All right. Well, I would like to think so. I think I can process thought. Yeah. Cops are like the abortion clinic workers who recognize their patient as a protester outside to give them professional care and keep their confidentiality. Exactly. And my problem is, this is CHOP leader arrested. And I'm like, what CHOP leader? CHOP wasn't supposed to have leaders. The problem is leaders, isn't it? Like, it was just weird. Anyway, so speaking of people who don't know what the hell is going on, Don Jr. was on Fox News yesterday. We have not, I've not watched any of this, so, and they're planning a trip to Florida for one of these things. So right before he comes on screen, they're flying how many cases are hitting a day. Yeah, this part. Oh, Junior. These guys just clamoring for daddy's love so badly.
Executive Vice President developed.
I don't know, Tracy, if he stole the car to escape the CHOP. You don't have to escape the CHOP. The CHOP is gone now. It's so dumb. Anarchy is such a ridiculous... It's like anarchists are like the left side of libertarians, I suppose. I mean, neither one of them vote or give a shit about the country. So I don't care. Like, anybody who, views themselves as an anarchist or a libertarian is like has just checked out of giving a shit about anybody but themselves. It's just, whatever. But yeah.
Development and acquisitions.
Why is he uplit like Bela Lugosi?
Donald Trump.
I insisted on the uplighting so I don't look as greasy.
Jr.
It didn't work.
It's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's my pleasure.
She's like, thanks so much for joining me. She's not buying it at all.
Maria, good to be with you.
Good to be with you. No.
So I know that you are gearing up for the convention coming up. What do you
No, I wouldn't say they're gearing up.
say about what's going on in Jacksonville? Jacksonville's telling officials, telling people they have to wear masks, even questioning whether or not the convention should go on in Jacksonville. What's your take with now?
Well, I'm glad you asked me about that because I'm the only human being in the world who's ever grown a beard and had a smaller chin because of it. It's incredible.
We're 126 days away from the 2020 election, Don.
Correct, and we're still 2 months out from the convention, so we have a little bit of time to get everything in order. I think we're going to make sure that everything is done in a safe and appropriate manner.
Well, no, neither.
I don't.
When has anything he's ever done been safe or appropriate?
Think that it's too complicated to wear a mask or wash your hands and follow basic hygiene protocols,
and yet it is. I don't think it's too complicated to wear a mask and wash your hands, and yet. Which side of the aisle's supporters are going to show up at an event and refuse to wash their hands and wear a mask? Which leader of which party is going, masks? I mean, you can wear one if you want to, but it's a bunch of bullshit, honestly.
I think we're just...
like, complication is not the problem, dickhead.
Do whatever we can to make sure that the people that are there in attendance, as well as the people from the RNC and the campaign, are safe, enjoyable, and have an awesome time.
Safe, enjoyable, and have an awesome time. It's going to be awesome. 2 weeks after, when they're coughing up a lung or their organs are failing, not so much. But as long as while they're there.
All right, now.
Everybody wants to be there to celebrate the fact that we scuttled anyone's attempts to primary my father.
We've got a situation in this country that is quite extraordinary. While we see major efforts to cure and come up with a vaccine for the coronavirus, we are ripping our cities apart.
Oh, are we? Guys, were we ripping our cities apart? I'm sorry, did I miss that part? Were we going to scrap them and build them again? Is this the Lego movie?
Got the statues coming down and infrastructure being damaged, and yet with
infrastructure being damaged. Have we lost any bridges? Corona's a hoax. The beer, maybe. Get out of here. Bye, dumb.
Your father being the law and order president,
Since when? What, is there a law he can't wait to break? What are you talking about, law and order?
Why he is trailing in the polls. Let's take a look.
Because he's terrible at his job, and there are tens of thousands of Americans dying. There's going to be 200,000 dead Americans by August. And his fallback is, it's China's fault. I couldn't have done anything.
These polls, got to get your take. President Trump trailing Vice President Joe Biden in several swing states, including...
the state you're going to have your convention in. I'm kidding. You're not going to have your convention
points in Florida, according to the latest Fox News poll. Don, I know that we did not...
Yeah, that's rough. That's a Fox News poll. Ouch.
Believe the polls last time around are...
But these are our polls. Like, what do you mean? We didn't believe our own polls last time. We don't know what we spent this money on.
You're buying it this time around, and what can the president do to turn these numbers around?
Well, he might work on having a picture that doesn't look like he's dumb and trying to figure out why he's being photographed.
Well, I'm not entirely buying it. I think there's probably a component of it that's accurate, because if you...
A component? You mean the numbers?
Look at the coverage of these things. They're trying to blame all of this for President Trump. I was really glad to see...
He has been president for 3.5 years. You guys were saying Obama's completely responsible for everybody who jumped on food stamps in 2009 when the economy crashed in 2008 and hit its peak in 2009 before any of the money from their policies actually started going out. So all those people that went on food stamps and needed assistance from 2008 through 2009 into 2010. That's all Obama's fault. But after being president for 3.5 years, 140,000 dead Americans isn't really, I mean, it's not, I mean, it couldn't possibly.
This week, a lot of arrests starting to be made for the...
So what? Yeah, state and local officials are busting people. Yeah, they're vandals. Who gives a shit? They should go to jail. And?
People who are defacing our monuments.
Yeah, that's not the biggest concern. I'm more concerned about the disease that is defacing grandma's lungs.
Imagine what would happen if a group of conservatives took over 6 blocks of a inner city somewhere with...
You mean like the Bundys taking over federal land owned by the taxpayer? You mean pointing sniper rifles at police officers' heads? You mean like that? Gee, I wonder.
Guns.
They walked.
It wouldn't be treated the same way. So sort of that double standard within the media, the way things are covered, trying...
Yeah, but those aren't lefties either. Those aren't Democrats anyways. Like, the people who are taking over that aren't voting either direction.
Throw blame on everything Trump, whether it was these things, whether it was obviously, the coronavirus response where Trump was 2 months ahead of the Democrats in terms of action, in terms of being...
No, 40 other countries stopped travel out of China before Trump did. 40 other countries. 3 airlines stopped flying people from China into the United States. The 40,000 people that Trump still allowed after the China ban came on other airlines. Chinese airlines, as a matter of fact. He let them in. Anybody who flew through another country could come in. If you flew through Pakistan, you could come in. You just couldn't come directly from there. That you just basically stopped travel from Wuhan, not from China.
To flatten the curve by shutting down travel from China, and yet magically, through their amazing revisionist history, they're able to change facts to actually make it seem like the Democrats were doing anything. That
they weren't the president. They didn't scuttle. The Democrats did start a pandemic response team, and Trump did get rid of it 2 years ago.
Said, I also do think there's a large element, like 16 and perhaps greater, where candidly, because of that response, because of the media reaction, because of some of the craziness that has gone on, between the looting and the rioting and the attacks, people aren't going to be as apt to say, hey, I'm voting for Trump, because they're not sure where someone else is coming from.
Yeah, I think Joe Biden is pro-looting. That's my fear as a voter. I'm concerned he might not arrest people who set fire to bakeries. I mean, Biden's always had kind of an anti-bakery slant.
Frankly, I don't blame him, but that's a sad state of affairs for America, and it's something we better work out pretty soon. The fact is, these days, you're not allowed to just be apolitical. You have to be woke. If you're not woke enough, if you just want to stay apolitical, you get canceled anyway.
That's not true. You don't have to be woke, but if you're going to make a political statement, there's going to be a decision by the public on which side you're on, and either you're going to be accepted by one side and rejected by the other, or both sides are going to go, Jesus Christ, I'm not taking them.
We've seen that cancel culture become very pervasive.
Really? Yeah, so Biden's pro-cancel culture. That's what it is. He's been working, in the House and then the Senate and then as Obama's VP, and the whole point he's been working on is canceling the ability for conservatives to speak. Are you shitting me? He was picked as Obama's VP for his ability to corral votes on both sides of the aisle. Democracy.
About society these days, too.
Well, it's pretty unbelievable because...
Yeah, it is. It's completely unbelievable. It's not believable. What he's saying is not believable. This is just goofy.
So right now, the FBI has, I believe, 2,000 open investigations into espionage situations in the United States where China has sent over researchers to steal our data. 2,000, but they should have many more, according to Peter Navarro, but we can't because we don't have the resources. What are they doing? Law professionals are protecting statues. So this incredible movement of resources during this moment in time is depleting our efforts elsewhere where it really is very important to protect national security secrets.
Yeah, Don Jr., why is your dad so worried about statues which are made out of metal, can be cleaned, spray washed, and pressure washed and put back on their pedestal, and paint removed from them when the Chinese are putting malware in everyone's phones?
Well, I think without question, and honestly,
without question, I don't understand what you just said.
Donald Trump is the first guy to actually stand up to China. He's the first guy to actually be.
How? According to him, China let this virus in on purpose, meaning that Donald Trump is responsible for the greatest biowarfare attack on the United States in history, with more dead than the Vietnam War. And he's been president for 3.5 years. This isn't, well, Bush blew off his PDB a year into his presidency and didn't see Osama bin Laden coming.
Tough on China. He did a trade deal with China signed in middle January.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's the reason he didn't want to call out China specifically over the COVID-19 infections, because he wanted to sign a deal for $50 billion in agricultural goods that the Chinese were going to have to buy anyways, because they've had to kill 700 million of their own pigs because of a swine flu over there. But, you know, if you paid attention to the market or you were surrounded by the smartest guys on Wall Street, you'd have known that. But instead, in this back and forth, we have the highest number of farm bankruptcies in our country's history, and the taxpayer has doled out $68 billion to cover the $50 billion that China hasn't spent yet, and isn't going to.
Where everyone said that would never happen. When you look at what's going
Phase 1
on, sort of the...
He totally got phase 1 of some other phases sort of done. The ink wasn't even dry before the COVID China virus came in.
The agenda of 2016 was more right than ever coming out of the COVID crisis, understanding that China lied to us. They either bribed or manipulated the World Health Organization into going with the talking points. They shut down travel from Wuhan to Beijing and to Shanghai, their biggest cities, but not to the rest of the world. Joe Biden is basically...
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. They shut down Wuhan entirely. They were welding people into their apartments. They were snatching people off the street and putting them in steel boxes and driving them to hospitals that were built in 3 weeks that were effectively prisons. They didn't just stop people going from Beijing to Shanghai. If you've ever been to China, and I have been, I've 8 times in the last 2 years. Nobody stays anywhere. You can go anywhere you want. You'll get busted if you're engaged in some stuff and you can't do anything against the state. But if you want to take a train from one place to another and they don't know you're a bad guy yet, if you were 8 feet outside of Wuhan and got coughed on just as you were walking away, you could have been on 9 trains that afternoon. What are you talking about?
Owned by China. His son's taken billions from him in terms of investment. You know,
no, he didn't. That deal happened in 2014. He didn't buy into that company until 2017. The $1.5 billion was an investment fund going out of the country. It's the same as any investment fund that comes out of any major country. Ask Eric about the Saudi money and the Russian money you guys got.
2 and 20.
You guys are just jealous.
Fund structure where he's making $30 million a year. Joe Biden's not going to be...
Wait, Hunter Biden made $30 million a year? He was making $50,000, what, $30,000 a month. Are we just adding zeros at this point? When does $30,000 a month end up being $30 million a year? Oh, I know. When you're Vladimir Putin and you make $146,000 a year and you have a net worth of $200 billion.
Soft on China. Every comment that he's ever made about China has been lackadaisical at best. He doesn't view them as a threat. The reality is the world has seen the threat that China is.
Do we want to roll all the footage of you going, I have a very good relationship with Xi. He's one, I trust him. Been very transparent.
Have to stand up for them and to them. And the
oops, little Freudian slip there.
only person that's done that in modern American history is Donald Trump. Coming out of this, we have to be even stronger.
You sold us down the river during these negotiations for a pittance. Your dad doesn't even understand what a trade deficit is.
We have to be even more aggressive, and we have to recognize China for what they are. They're not trying to be a world player. They're not trying to do what's right for the world. China will only do what's right for China. We have to recognize that. We have to stand.
Yeah, they have like a China first policy or something, which is unheard of. Can you imagine any country in the world saying, look, whatever else happens, we're taking care of our own needs first? Can you imagine if a conservative said something like that?
Up to that.
What? What? Really? That's his fallback? That China has a China first policy?
We need someone who's not just a sock puppet like Joe Biden would be against China. We need someone who...
Why would he be a sock puppet? You're using the term sock puppet because that's what your dad is with Russia, and you know it. That's what that phrase keeps... Who keeps using that phrase, by the way? I think some of my stuff's starting to weasel into their brain pan.
Actually has the guts to do something, not just talk about it, and that's Donald Trump.
Have you ever met him? I'm asking this honestly. I mean, I know you interviewed him once, but you don't look like you had much interaction with him over the years.
Well, China's going to be an issue this election, of course, but there are other issues that people are talking about going into 2020 election, and that is voter fraud. The president's re-election.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal. You know, the fact that the president is registered to vote in Florida when he has no residence there, and even the place that he's registered can't actually serve as a residence legally, and he's trying to vote by mail there? How is that? How are these laws continuing to be broken?
Campaign suing the Pennsylvania Secretary of State over how mail-in ballots are submitted. The suit seeking to only allow ballots to be dropped off at county election board offices and to protect voter identities. I spoke with Attorney General William Barr last.
Seeks to ban returning ballots anywhere except county board of... Well, where do you mail them to? If you have mail-in ballots, where else are you going to mail them to? Do they not have a return address? Are they not free of... Do they have free postage on them? What? Seeks to bar ballots that lack secrecy envelope or reveal electors' identity. You mean they have to come in the envelope that they were sent in because that's how that works and it tells you to on the envelope? Suit alleges June 2nd primary broke law in Pennsylvania. Having it or not having it?
About his concerns on mail-in ballots, and it's not good. Here's what he said on Sunday Morning Futures. Watch this.
Oh, this will be good.
Well, there's a big discussion right now about mail-in voting. Hillary Clinton said it's fine. It's fair.
Well,
it's, I mean, obviously, if Hillary Clinton said it's okay, what is she?
It absolutely opens the floodgates to fraud. Those things are delivered into mailboxes. They can be taken out. There's questions about whether or not it even...
You're the AG. So what's the minimum sentence for someone stealing the mail? It's 5 years. You get 5 years for taking it out. You get 5 years for opening somebody else's mail. There's another count of 5 years of election fraud where you fill it out or sign it. And then there's another count of election fraud and mail fraud when you send fraudulent mail through the mail. So that's 5 counts in total. Who the shit wants to do 25 years for one vote? Who is paying people to potentially go to jail for 25 years for every vote they fake? For hundreds of thousands of votes. Really? You want to get deported for that? Even, let's say you have illegals do it. That's the other accusation. Really?
Denies a secret.
How much you paying? What's the going rate for a possible 25-year term for each one? Let's say they roll it in 10 per effort. Just that you get to knock it down. You plea bargain down on each vote you faked. From 25 years to 10 years? 8 years?
Because...
Oh, right on. Oh, Krista, I will post a link on how to watch the show. Either I will be dual streaming it. I'm trying to figure that out now, or you'll come into the Zoom part of it. So I will figure that out. I'm going to post that right after I'm done with the show. So check out patreon.com/HalSparks right after the show. I'll get a link from them, hopefully during this. Okay.
A lot of the states have you signing the outside of the envelope, so the person who opens the envelope will know how people voted. There's no.
The person opening the envelope will know how people voted. First of all, if a state has a standard that low, then here's a good idea. How about a federal standard for elections? Huh? How about that? How about that? And if you want ID, how about this? A universal citizen ID for every American, required and given by the United States government.
Right now, a foreign country could print up tens of thousands of counterfeit ballots and be.
Yeah, but they wouldn't match the rolls. Okay. Here, can we hold on? Let me see. I know I've got some Post-its around here or something. I must have some sort of paper. Where do I have it? I've got. Okay, let's just take this piece of paper. We'll fold this in half. Okay, so foreign government. They. It's a little art project. Hang out for a second. So here's, I get a thing in the mail that has my name on it, and it's got my signature and you can see it. So somebody goes, hey, I got a good idea. Let's make a bunch of ballots. We've got this signature. Let's just make another one like that, and a third one like that. And it's close enough. Who cares? They won't really look that hard, right? They've got just this. Hold on. I'll hold it. I don't know. Back here. What are you doing? Yeah. So let's hold it back here. And now we've got 3 votes with the same signature on them. And we can just print these, right? Except when they send it in, only one of them matches up to a barcode. And it can only be matched once. This is the dumbest argument I have ever, unless they break in to the elector, like the Secretary of State's office, and generate the false barcodes that match up to the barcode with the signature, it won't get counted. It's just a flood of, they might as well just sign paper and throw confetti at the office. What kind of a dumbass thinks that? Have the people who vote for him and vote for Trump ever looked at their fucking ballot? Look at it. There's a barcode on yours. It has to match the barcode they have there. If you volunteer at an election site, somebody's name is in there. They get a little sticker. That little sticker has a barcode on it that matches their ballot. They stick it in. They vote and stuff, and it goes through. If you come in and go, I'm Gary Johnson, and they're like, okay, here, Mr. Johnson, here, can we have proof of address? Yeah, here's my electric bill. There's my name. There's my address. I live over there. This is the proper way to be here. Then you take that and they go, okay, cool. That's you, Gary. Da, da, da. And then you fill out your ballot and you put it in the machine and they count Gary Johnson's ballot. And then a guy comes in and says, hey, I'm Gary Johnson. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm Gary. I'm right. I vote at this place. They go, you already voted. Your sticker's gone. Where? What do you mean? And he goes, well, no, I'm here to vote. Again, under a name that's registered to vote here as a registered voter. Can we see some ID? I don't have to show you some ID. Can you show me an electric bill or something that says you live in the district? I don't have any of that or whatever. Well, here's a provisional ballot. Piss off. And then they take your provisional ballot and throw it out because somebody already voted. How in the world? Who is that dumb?
Very hard for us to detect which was the right and which was the wrong ballot. So
no, it wouldn't, because there would be no corresponding registration at the Secretary of State. How in the, what kind of, What do you think this is? 1865?
I think it can upset and undercut the confidence in the integrity of our election.
No, that's what you're trying to do. You are talking out of your flabby ass right now.
If anything, we should tighten them up right now.
Look, I'm not even gonna any type of conversation like that.
Moon River.
I'm not gonna be a part of it.
Don, what's your take? This is a state issue, right? The governors will decide about mail-in voting.
Yeah, states' rights. Remember that when Republicans were worried about how states do things? They don't want to set a standard like that. It's not their problem. It's business. Hey.
Ballots, is that right?
Right. That's a state kind of a thing.
Well, I believe so, and yet, you know.
Yes, it is. Yes.
You see, all the left states are going to do this because it is.
All the left states are going to do this. You mean the states with the highest populations in them? Or the states, or do you consider Florida and Texas now left states?
Ripe for fraud. It is something that, have you seen these elections don't go towards conservatives? They always.
That's because the more people vote, the worse it hurts conservatives. Shall we look up the Paul Weyrich quote? Hold on one second. Switching cameras. Go back to here. 1 second. Let's see. You guys are, some of you may be familiar with this. Paul Weyrich Goo syndrome. Where is it? There we go. Look at this. Hold on. So this is, there you go. This is the guy who started the Heritage Foundation. By the way, the year Reagan got elected.
Now, many of our Christians have what I call the goo syndrome.
What a weird name to come up with something. You know what I mean? Like that's the name you came up with? The goo syndrome?
Good government. They want everybody to vote. I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down.
Well, what do you know? What a strange... So, which party's the pro-voting party? By the way, official absentee ballot material, first class, official election mail, business reply mail. That's the postage that's on there, so you don't have to pay for it. We own the post office. You just pop it in there. Doesn't cost you anything as a taxpayer. It's not supposed to go anywhere it's not addressed to. Oh, sorry. I got to click on this other page.
Magically show up with a box that was in someone's car.
Yeah, that would not match people unless they were on the voter rolls and their names were actually there. And they actually were the ballots and they actually matched the UPC symbols that are on there.
The thousands of cases of literally people showing up with boxes. Sometimes they found boxes of ballots in other states.
Yeah, the Republicans have thrown away people's registrations, and in Georgia there were ballots that were thrown out. The removal of ballots is often a problem because they never get where they're going. That seems to be the conservative tactic. You can't do that when people mail it in because that's a federal charge. That's one more 5-year count added to everything.
This one's a no-brainer. If you look at what the
well, and it's perfect that they brought you on the show.
Left even claims they did as it relates to the Tulsa rally 10 days ago, where they were able to get in there and manipulate attendance to try to take up seats to prevent other people who wanted to go.
Yeah, okay. You don't register as a voter to put your email address in to go to a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What the hell are you talking about? Business fraud and personal fraud don't happen when it comes to voting because it's not worth it. The upside sucks. That's his argument. Look how many people pretended they were coming to my dad's rally and then they totally didn't. They didn't show.
Imagine what they could do with a little bit of time on a mail-in ballot issue. They're going to be harvesting. They're going to be collecting them. You see the voter rolls are literally, there's millions and millions of people on voter rolls that no longer even live in those addresses. What's going to happen?
You mean like your dad and most of the people in your dad's administration who are voting by mail? And Mike Pence, who no longer lives in Indiana, is no longer the governor of Indiana, so therefore cannot count the governor's mansion as his residence. Even if he had another house in Indiana, it would make sense. And I don't know how he doesn't. But he and his wife voted based on their address at the time, like in the 2018 midterm. They voted from Indiana, from the governor's mansion. They don't live there anymore. He's not the governor. Trump doesn't live at Mar-a-Lago. No one's allowed to live at Mar-a-Lago.
Those ballots, when people don't know about it, the Democrats sure don't want to sweep those rolls. They don't want to get those extra people off of there because...
What extra people? You mean dead people?
They know that if they can find that ballot, they can turn it in for themselves.
And conservatives wouldn't or won't?
They will do it. It's not a secret. Everyone sort of knows it's happened. Everyone gets criticized.
No, they don't. Prove it. Find one case. Literally, like Ann Coulter was one of the few people busted for fraudulently voting
for saying it's happened, and it's yet another one of those places where the Democrats has just created a storyline that the mainstream media will go along, but it's total nonsense and it's ripe for fraud. I think AG Barr is 100% right on this one.
I think AG Barr, like, this dude is so headed for Tony Clifton in his later life. And we'll finish on this because I got to get a show to prep for. So and I'm trying not to be jealous. I'm holding it together, guys. But this is a network known as, hold on, the Right Side Broadcasting Network. Get it? They're on the right side. They're right-leaning and also on the right side of history. And they're on the side that is right. And they're live streaming the president's Mount Rushmore gathering tonight, which I can't do because it's going to happen right as I'm doing my stand-up show. I should have thought this through. I should have that in and of it's like, oh my God. But I'm trying not to be jealous, super chatters. You guys have been amazing today. Philly Dana, thank you. And Robert and Eileen and Dark Faye and Jimmy and Ninka, thanks for the bits, you guys. Hi, Twitch. Hello, Twitch people. I see you. Welcome. Join us. Join us. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Look at these super chats. These people mean business. And this is a network. Why are they getting super chats? You don't need to help them. Unless, of course, this is just like how they get foreign funding. Oh, Rebecca, thank you. I think this is how foreign funding happens for a lot of these networks. I'm not kidding. Because it doesn't matter. And if you bounce money through an account, they're never gonna audit super chats from the source. Are they? Can you tell? And there's like a couple of like multi-$100 ones in here. Look at this. There's a $99 one. I can't scroll back any further, but it's kind of ongoing or whatever. Thank you, Jill Carter. There's a bunch of that stuff going on. There's a couple of other networks that get a lot of super chats on those levels from sketchy sources, I'm just saying. And I'm glad I have trustworthy, lovely people like you guys out there doing it instead. So, thanks, Rosie. So these folks, let me see if I can find this. So this is the beginning of their live coverage. Please stand by. On the right side of history, rsbnetwork.com. We're the right side of America, and we buy all of our music, and we don't pay a dime for it. So, yeah. So this lovely couple. Hi, y'all. Good to see you, and welcome you, and Jesus saves. And what's happening? And okay. Live coverage, South Dakota's Mount Rushmore fireworks celebration featuring President Trump. Featuring, or is it featuring him? Is he featuring? Isn't that the opening act? This is the, Kiss featuring Cheap Trick. All right. Just saying. This is the
South Dakota for Right Side special 4th of July all-day coverage. I'm Jordan Parker, joined by
all day, guys. We've been missing out. You've been dicking around on my channel, and you could have been following the right side of history's all-day coverage of the president's Mount Rushmore ass drag. It's going to be so good, okay? Come on now.
Liz Willis, and we are so happy to be here and to have...
And I am pacing my words very strangely because it sounds professional. And I don't know why she is wearing a safety vest.
You with us. Over 10,000 of you already waiting online to see today's broadcast. As you can see,
10,000. And almost 9,000 of them are Russians, but don't tell anybody.
Behind us, it's just an absolutely stunning venue in the shadow of Mount Rushmore. Just before...
Shadow of Mount Rushmore. There are no shadows. You're not in the shadow. It's not an overhang. In the shadow of Mount Rushmore.
We came on, you saw a beautiful view of the four heads up on top. We are going to be...
Of the four heads up on top. You mean the four heads up on top? The four presidents? You can just see their foreheads. I love Cheap Trick too. Hi, Megan. Thank you.
All-day coverage for you all. I know you've...
All-day coverage of it. Been
waiting for a while. We do apologize for the delay, but as you can see...
And by the way, they have a scroll down below, I guess, of people giving them money and following, or people who are waiting to see the show. They have this constant scroll, which I know better than to do as a fledgling YouTuber in that regard, who hasn't even had the joy of attempted blackmail by Jeffree Star, or been the butt of the jokes on Good Mythical Morning. I haven't even gotten to that level yet, because in my life I've been busy having genuine success on real networks. They have a scroll on the bottom. Philip Chudzik, spelled with an F, Fiscal Rangers Florida, Foxfly 23, Fran Ashton, First Avenger, Fat Nadler. See that one over there by the, hold on, by this side of it? Let's see if I can play it.
It's a little bit of a remote location, and so we wanted to make sure.
It's a bit of a remote location. Is it now? It doesn't look remote.
Everything was perfect before we went live. Of course, the main event tonight.
We went live. Of course, we did it.
Is the president of the...
I need to go to class and take a class on how to speak like this.
United States will be delivering remarks around 8 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. Eastern, and then fireworks.
Oh, the math. Well, that was the only hitch in his get-along, was the math.
Will be following that as well once the sun sets. So it's going to be an absolutely incredible event here in Keystone on July 3rd. And then tomorrow we are going to be back hosting more all-day coverage for you on July 4th, Independence Day. And we will be broadcasting live from here as well as the White House, where the President and the First Lady will be hosting the Salute to America on the White House South Lawn, complete with flyovers and fireworks as well. But
very exciting.
You don't want to wait for flyovers and fireworks till tomorrow, then you have come to the right spot, because
because there's going to be flyovers and fireworks here. Really, how close will it be to the dry brush?
Be bringing you all of that today. We're hearing possibly the Blue Angels are going to be here.
What do you mean possibly? How do you not know if the Blue Angels are going to fly over? I just want to know if Richard Dreyfuss is going to make it to the mothership.
Of course, the president's going to fly in on Marine One. There's going to be Ospreys. There's going to be F-22s. The whole...
Cool. It's going to be like a straight-up Kim Jong-un kind of a 4th of July.
9-yard.
Because that's really what, when we celebrate America, that's what we support is our military conquests.
If you want to see it, you are in the right place to see that. We're going to be bringing you the president's remarks live as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the fireworks following that. An absolutely incredible day here. We're so excited to have you, and I'm going to let Liz give you a brief rundown on where we are right now, where we're headed, and what they can expect to see between now and when the president takes the stage. Liz?
Absolutely.
Liz, take the mic away.
Thank you, Jordan. We want to say thank you to everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for watching us share a microphone.
Who's tuning in today. We're so excited to be.
Do you enjoy my side mustache with my? I can't. God damn it! This whole thing. Sorry. Garsh darn it. What would Jesus say? He spoke Aramaic? No, it's crap. I don't even know how you say shit in Aramaic.
Here in America's heartland for this 4th of July celebration.
I know that's Devil's Tower. I'm just... Can I at least joke around? Come on.
Technically the 3rd, but it's a 2-day celebration for all
It looks exactly like the forest he was climbing through in the... Okay.
of us, like Jordan said.
And by the way, that's Mount Rushmore way, way, way back behind them. Where, see that? Way back in the... That's it. That's what this dude is calling in the shadow of Mount Rushmore. Which, since it's so high up, and so, like... All right.
We've got a lot
I'm just saying this. There's only shadow there. Maybe, 3 hours a day.
going on today. And tomorrow we're also going to be at the
Your mileage may vary.
MP celebration, so you can check that out on Twitter. Before that, back to today, in a few moments, we're actually going to head down to the town of Keystone, South Dakota.
Oh, man. If you have not had a fried bacon Snickers bar unless you have been to Keystone. That's wonderful. And we're going to meet Yogi Bear.
So what's really neat about this place is that there's so many
The cops here are hilarious.
cute little towns. We wish we could show you guys all of
So fun. You guys, this is so...
them, but we would just want to get down there and show you guys some of these patriots and these tourists that are here to celebrate the 4th of July.
Wait, some of these tourists aren't patriots? What the hell are they doing in town?
With President Trump, and this is the first time in 10 years that these fireworks have actually gone off. So we are expecting...
Yeah, because other presidents gave a shit about the potential for fire.
To see them bigger and better than ever. With all that being said, I also want to say
because that's the importance of the celebration of 4th of July. Volume.
thank you to Disney Coins. Today is
we're going to bring down our picnic basket.
special day because normally we get to work with them and we do giveaways, but this is going to be the
Own a piece of history. Buy a coin today. Jesus, it's just a gold hawking thing.
biggest giveaway of all time for Disney Coins.
Disney coins? Disney coins? Is that like a round to it? Yeah, I'll do it when I get around to it. Here you go. Anybody get around to it? Anybody ever gotten around to it when they were a kid?
We're doing a 2-day giveaway. So for today's feed and tomorrow's feed, Disney Coins.
It sounds like Disney coins. But, oh, by the way, they do this for a little bit, and then they cut. This is Mount Rushmore. There it is. There's 2 people standing up there. Clearly, Secret Service and the assassins that they've hired. And then they cut to this no sound shot for whatever reason, and a helicopter crashes into it. And then, like, that's wonderful. Is our mic on? No, our mic's off. Let's go. And then they go and get in a car, and then they play this video for a little while, and then they're in their car magically.
But we know all of our loyal viewers really want to see the people and hear what they have to say firsthand. So, of course, you ask and you shall receive. So we are headed down to the city center to talk with some...
The city center.
Locals and some people...
It's Keystone.
...from out of town and ask them what does the 4th of July mean to them, why they made the journey out here, and what they hope...
I think it means that tomorrow is the 5th and yesterday was the 3rd, but don't quote me on that. You know
to see from the president. As Liz Willis mentioned, this is the first time in 10 years that Mount Rushmore is doing fireworks. The National Park Service, in conjunction with a few other organizations, approved
obviously, because, let's see, 10 years, it's 3.5 years in. That means Obama did it early in his presidency, but they didn't do it again for some reason. Drought or something. I don't know, environmental bullshit. Forget it.
Fireworks for the first time in nearly...
Everything looks pretty green to me. I don't know what's going to catch fire, just rooftops.
...a decade, and decided that the fire risk was low enough to proceed. So for those who...
Yeah, because the fire risk was lowered after 10 years.
...are local here, they have not had fireworks in quite a long time, and you can feel the...
You can just feel the excitement. I have not seen sky full of fire since, I don't know, since I guess the aliens abducted me and probed me. Oh, that was, I gotta say, that was a rough weekend. I'm not gonna even kid you. That was...
River. You using the whole fist, Doc?
They were gentle aliens.
Excitement in the air. It is a beautiful day here, beautiful scenery as well. We got in yesterday and did a...
Now they're doing the weather.
A little bit of sightseeing around the area, and boy, this is a gorgeous part of the country. mountains and trees and just greenery and no cell service. However, it's kind of nice to disconnect.
It's such a beautiful place, and we're so happy to be here. Just the mountains and the greenery and the greenery and the mountains everywhere and greenery everywhere you look. I can't get on Twitter.
Now and again, you can see Liz is doing an excellent job of navigating this town and this truck and the traffic. For those who don't
We love non-college educated whites.
know, the event where the president is speaking is technically...
What was that noise? Did they just hit a moose? What they shit? Wait a minute. What was that shit? Wait, listen.
And ask
Or was that Liz?
What does the 4th of July mean to them, why they made the journey out here, and what...
Hold on.
Technically open to the public, but you had to enter a lottery for tickets. Nearly 125,000 people entered to get tickets, but only 7,500 were selected. Of that 7,500, just a small fraction of those are actually allowed to go into the amphitheater and see the president, and the rest of them are kept out.
Hold on, it was right
A little
right
bit
back
of
here.
sightseeing around the area, and boy...
Wait it.
Technically open to the public, but you had to enter a lottery for tickets. Nearly 125,000 people
where was it?
A little bit of sightseeing around
we got to do it around here. Hold
the
on.
area, and boy,
It's
this
gonna
is a
happen.
gorgeous part of
I'm not crazy. I heard something.
the country. Mountains and trees and just greenery and no
cell
service. However, it's kind of nice to disconnect now and again. You can see Liz is doing an excellent job of navigating this town and this truck and the traffic. For those who don't know, the event where the president is speaking is technically...
Was that Liz? You heard it, right? That wasn't just me. That sounded like a moose. I don't know. Like, roll down a window.
Open to the public, but you had to enter a lottery for tickets. Nearly 125,000 people entered to get tickets, but only 7,500 were selected. Of that 7,500, just a small fraction...
They were selected because they will be allowed to enter the space ark and escape the cesspool of Earth that we have left behind.
of those are actually allowed to go...
Rapture 1 will be launching at 9 p.m. That's not fireworks. Okay, bye.
Into the amphitheater and see the president, and the rest of them are kept outside the park with prime viewing for the fireworks. As for...
Prime viewing for the fireworks. You mean they can see the sky from where they are?
We are up on a mountain at Keystone Project Lodge, as we mentioned, providing you a clear shot of Mount Rushmore and the fireworks that are to come.
Ew, a clear shot of Mount Rushmore for the fireworks that are to come. These people are pent up.
As you can see off to the left here is sort of downtown Keystone, lots of little shops. And
why would we be able to see it? Your camera guy isn't pointing it out.
Outlets and cars for miles and miles and miles as people are lined up.
Is this where we should go?
In anticipation of tonight's event. As I mentioned, the president...
Look at that. What do we got?
Set to speak.
What's the store there? Rattlesnake Jake's. Oh, come on now. Come on, let's go to Rattlesnake Jake's, buddy.
And just
let's go.
over...
Look at that. Uh-oh. Hold on. Pizzagate, wait a second. So hold on. The Obama, you're going to tell me, QAnon supporters, listen here, listen up. Hey, simmer down. We got to settle this right now. You're going to tell me Obama stopped having his, having fireworks at Rushmore because of a fire hazard. Get it, devil? Fire hazard. And then President Trump decides it's about time. We're going to do this again. And there's a pizza place that delivers extra cheese, calzones and beef, and their phone number is 666. Look at that. What the hell is the president doing there? Does he not know that that is Ghislaine Maxwell's entry into her underground lair? Oh my God. Bill Barr's in on it. They captured her. They're taking her back home. They're going to release her into her own natural habitat. Right next to Rattlesnake Jake's. And of course, Jake is a reference to Chinatown, because Chinese virus, and it's Chinatown Jake, and rattlesnakes because it's a poison that came from China, and that kind of thing, and Pizzagate, and 666, and live coverage. I'm just saying, are you guys not putting this all together? Come on now. I'm going to make so much money as a conspiracy channel now. Oh, come on. You got to support us before they shut us down. Come on. Can you imagine if, and look, right in between them, what is it? A communal shitter for these non-binary people who don't know whether they're men or women and want to take children in there and dress them up as little cross-dresser youngins and toss money at them, take them out for pizza and down there and get the Chinese money. Can you imagine if like, you know, Mount Rushmore had a fire issue for a long time, and then they were finally able to open it up again for fireworks, and Hillary Clinton's playing this, and a news team pulls in like these assholes to film this thing, and then they freeze frame it. I told you, man. Come on. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Pizzagate 666 and the devil sharing the bathroom. There's probably a basement. And where can I get an AK-15?
5 hours from now at 8 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. Eastern. And the
what's this business over here? The
fireworks will be directly following.
And there's a DQ, the Dairy Queen. You know what I mean? The big queens. You understand what I'm saying? It's the gay agenda. They want a monarchy run by the homosexuals.
As for the attendees, we know.
Look at that thing, and they got targets on there. They're trying to get them to kill the president.
President is going to be here, as well as the.
Look at this nutcase selling boogie boards outside of a place near a mountain. That's not a Indian art, rocks and knives. Look, this is like Antifa. This is where Antifa goes to get supplies. Pottery, Indian art, whiskey, rocks and knives. This is just, why don't they just have black masks and General Mao's little red cookbook?
First Lady of the United States, accompanied by a whole entourage of supporters, family members, and I'm sure politicians. And here we are.
And I'm sure politicians. Yeah, she's married to one.
We are in downtown Keystone, and we're just going to keep on rolling because that is what we do best here at Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's the best thing they do, is just keep the camera on and just talk. And I look at all the Lisas in here. Lisa Cannon, Lisa Hempstead, Lisa Jones, Lisa Weber, Lita Moats, Liz Quinn, Lois. Everybody just goes, it's an alphabetical order according to L.
The environment or the situation, we are going to bring you
Lois
live
Miller.
Coverage.
2 Lois Millers. Look at that. Double voting. Look at that. There's 2 Lois Millers watching that. 3 of them. Look at that. No, that's Lori Leslie. There's 2 Lois Millers running. What happens if they both vote in the same town? Oh, come on, man.
Sign would be cute to stand in front of.
It's going to be fun. It's got down here. Stop here first. Mount
Thanks to
Rushmore.
Gage, our expert cameraman,
knives,
for continuing.
Sweatpants. Get it? See what I'm saying? Sweatpants.
To be on air and roll that entire drive down the mountain. But as you can see here, we are now in beautiful Keystone, South Dakota. We want
beautiful parking lot, South Dakota.
Give you a bit of a perspective of where we are and where we were filming just before we.
Let me guess. You're in the sun in a rural town at the base of a tourist site. I'm just going out on a limb. Trust me on this.
Came down here. If our cameraman wants to zoom into that beautiful lodge up there on the mountain, that is
where the Torrance family is currently watching it until the season reopens. They've been hired. Here's Johnny.
Lodge owned by the Keystone Project. They've been gracious enough to allow us a beautiful venue to broadcast, a beautiful area to set up.
The twins will be broadcasting from the hallway before too long, and of course, Mr. Halloran has been removed from the property for the comfort of everyone involved. But we're looking forward to talking to our CEO, Mr. Grady.
To give our viewers at home the best experience possible.
One of my daughters took a pack of matches and tried to burn it down, but I corrected them, so.
With Mount Rushmore. So we're just going to...
Why do I get, after looking at that lodge, that this guy was voted in school most likely to be in a bear suit at the end of The Shining?
Be mingling and meandering around the town down here, talking to supporters, talking to people who have come out to see the fireworks, and ask them just why have they come out here and what.
I'm going to go with national site, 4th of July, fireworks, presidential thing. I mean, don't call me crazy.
The 4th of July means to them.
It means to them. I don't know. Does not compute.
We are actually going to get back in the car and go to another location here. Sorry, things are kind of happening quickly. There weren't a lot of...
There's not a lot of people to ask those questions.
Logistics, not a lot of information given about this event, so we've been kind of flying by the seat of our pants, to be honest.
Really? But but you're getting all this knock money, whatever the hell that is. Look at this. What's that knock money that you're getting? And people joining as members and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm supposed to buy this bullshit that you didn't know what's going on?
With you and doing our best, since there isn't really rules or guidelines or a schedule for all of this. We are just
really professional, guys. It's amazing. It's almost like you can't just put a box on a microphone and actually have a show unless you know what the shit you're doing.
Doing our best, as we always do here at Right Side. So I think we're going to start making our way down this way, but you can see for our cameraman,
if Jehovah's Witnesses you're not automatically voted. No, you still have to register.
Let's do another pan of just the hundreds of cars lined up for miles.
Yeah. Like always, it's Mount Rushmore.
Up and down the highway off to my right as people are securing their spots and getting ready to see the fireworks. People got out here as early as 6 a.m. this morning to get
They came right out of the Super 8
spot possible for the viewing, and it's kind of just a big old block party down here.
It's like a big old block party. Come on.
Now, South Dakota, obviously the coronavirus pandemic is still going on. South Dakota has seen one of the lowest case numbers in the nation.
It also has one of the lowest populations in the nation, and having all these assholes drag into the county and infect everyone might lead to them seeing a spike.
I assume that's due to the natural social distancing by the
natural social distancing. You mean the lack of humans?
And by the town spread out and by the population here as well. But nonetheless, people are still...
Yeah, you mean the lack of population?
Taking precautions, wearing masks, social distancing.
Oh, you can't go to the fudge shop. Come on now. Hey, Jelly, what is it? Terror brand coffee? What the hell is that? I can't. Holy Terror brand is good coffee. Wait a minute. Right next to the Dairy Queer, next door to the Pizza 666 parlor and Rattlesnake Jake's. What the hell this place is dangerous.
Doing their best.
With the bullseyes
sure that
pointed at space so the aliens know how to hit you right in the keister.
South Dakota keeps their case numbers low, and that is no different from today. So we're going to do our best to...
No, it will be different 2 weeks from now, dickhead.
Sure that we can bring you non-pandemic coverage.
What would Jake do? I don't know, Jake, tell us.
And non-pandemic interviews, as I know that is what you all don't want to see.
Yeah, land is natural social distancing. This is worth every penny. Look at the funding behind this. Look at the funding. Seriously, this is, I mean, they're... Oh, here we go. We got some interviews, though. Lady on the street.
What's your name and where are you from?
Get away from me.
My name is Aleda Bailey, and I'm from Westfield, Indiana.
Okay, so you
all right, Indiana.
Came a long ways. What brought you out here today?
Trump.
Trump?
Yes, Westfield, Indiana, we love Trump.
We are patriots. We belong to...
You can tell by my my glasses, and they got a part of the flag on them, not a whole flag, you know.
A news network called Patriot Soapbox.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
On YouTube, 24/7, and we are patriots, and we love Trump.
It's another competing media site. The first person they walk up to. They walk up to and, oh, I just gave a platform to our competition for the same shitty slice of audience. Super. And they're on 24 hours a day, too.
And trust the plan.
Awesome.
That's right. Trust the pandemic.
So what do you...
Oh, somebody's walking by in the back with "You are on stolen land." You got protesters
hope to
behind
see
them.
today?
Oh, a lot of...
Oh, I can't wait to see this. I want to see his neck jana.
A lot of stuff. So
You're going to see a lot of stuff, all right. Here comes a lot of stuff behind you.
I don't know, something controversial.
I want to see something controversial. Because we're filming, and that's all we're here for. We just want to see, we're hoping that our friend Gary, who dresses up as Antifa, will set fire to something so we can film it and say, oh my God, what is this country coming to? Can you imagine if Biden got in office?
No.
What does the 4th of July mean to you?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom from gay marriage and women making choices and freedom.
Freedom. No oppression.
So we...
No oppression. That's very sweet.
A few protesters just make their way by here, just a couple.
They're oppressing me. Don't you oppress me.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know, they have the freedom to express how they feel, but so do we. You know, so.
You guys aren't blocking traffic, though. They are, correct?
That's right.
No, we're eating.
So how many days have you been here?
How many days? 3. Going on 3.
It all runs together.
It's 4 days, because.
Dedicated.
Very much so.
Awesome.
Very much.
Well, we hope you enjoy the day. We hope you enjoy the fireworks. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Make sure you get a good spot.
Sure.
Great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Some very excited people here, excited to see the president, and they have come out today for
Look at that. USA. Is everyone wearing a picnic blanket or
that? Quite an ecstatic.
4 more beers. 4 more
Crowd here in
beers.
Keystone, South Dakota. Excited to see the president. It is now just shy of 3 o'clock. The president is scheduled to begin his remarks at 8 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. Eastern. So just 5 hours from now, we're going to bring in you all of that and all the coverage from.
We're gonna bring in you all of that. Well, hey, sometimes when you talk nonstop, shit's just gonna fall out of your face. It just happens. Nothing to be ashamed of, except when it is.
Today's events. Until then, as we mentioned, we're going to be out here doing interviews, talking to people, asking them what the 4th of July means to them and why they have come out to see the president. This is Old Town Keystone. We were in New Town Keystone just before now, and so this is
Old Keystone, not New Keystone. New Keystone is way better.
Where a lot more of the action is, as you can see, the protesters, supporters of the president, and those just coming out here to enjoy the festivities. So it's going to be
the festivities. Oh my God, please tell me. Hold on, wait. Please tell me we can all get in that camper van. I'm so excited. Can we go camping? I love going camping. Oh, so good.
A great day, a lot.
So dreamy.
Of action. Liz is going to be joining us in just a second. She went to go find parking.
Stay away from him, woman. Stay away from him. He's mine.
So when she gets back, we're going to have more.
I know he's not interested. That's not the point.
Views from you for you guys. But for now, take a look at this downtown area off to my.
Those are some. Look at that.
Right.
Mountain Eagle Outpost. That is so creative. Wonderful, isn't it? Just Mountain Eagle. Project Fighting Eagle.
For those of you not able to be here, we are so thankful that you have chosen Right Side to join us today for coverage of
I'm thankful.
Today's events. As I mentioned,
I'm thankful to be staring at a quality inn.
Back live tomorrow from Mount Rushmore as well, bringing you
there's more
of the 4th of July coverage. We're also going to be bringing President Trump's.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to speed ahead because this is some boring shit. It just is. I'm sorry. Look, let's get to when she interviews some people. This is new. This is better. This is the new area.
As we are with the latest whereabouts of the president and all of his speeches as well. We also.
Excuse me. Are you a text-to-speech converter or a human being? I don't understand your accent. This is really weird.
Have another supporter here, and I think a Right Side fan that Liz is going to talk to. Liz?
Yes, it's so exciting when we find someone who recognizes the network. We don't have
somebody that we brought with us.
to go through the whole spiel about how we're not fake news. They already know it. So, Mark?
We don't have to even tell them the whole thing because we hand out flags and they just assume that it's something Russians would do if they had control of a network in the United States. But,
I'm going to let you reintroduce yourself and where you're from.
I'm Mark.
He didn't introduce himself. What are you talking about?
I'm representing the great state of Hawaii.
That's incredible.
I'm sorry, but you don't look, how do I put this? Waka-looka-nani, you know what I mean?
Incredible. And so you actually flew all the way from Hawaii to South.
Yeah, because he tried to drive and his car got all wet. You actually flew. You actually flew. I can't. Oh, that's so good. No, he got in a rowboat. You actually flew. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, now I'm starting to know why all these super chatters give them so much money. This is, honest to God, I can't compete with this comedy gold. Oh my God, that's great. You actually flew to get here. Probably because Antifa knocked down the bridge. They attacked the infrastructure. Oh, God, that was... Whew, I needed that one. Oh, that was solid. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, thank you for that, ma'am. Woof, that was great. It doesn't even bother me that your dress has changed color since you came down from the mountain.
Coded today.
Just for this.
Just for this.
And,
really? You're not wanted anywhere else? You're not expected anywhere? No one's going, hey, why aren't you here?
unfortunately, I didn't get a ticket to get in, but hey.
Hey, but you know, planning is everything.
Can't beat this, can you?
No, it sounds like.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you could. You could go another part of the year and actually go on the tour and actually see Mount Rushmore up close. But you know what? You're right. It's much better to fly in from Hawaii for something you don't have a ticket to and wander around in a place that's selling American flag hoodies, which are way more respectful of the flag than kneeling. Don't have to tell me.
Almost nobody got a ticket to get into the actual event, and they kept it very small. But this town is
just like the Tulsa gathering, you know what I mean? It was we're using the word exclusive now. I don't know what the flag is. It's a British territory flag, I think.
It's been beautiful. So what was your inspiration to come to Mount Rushmore for the 4th of July? Was it just President Trump's arrival, the fireworks going off for the first time in 10 years? I mean, that was no
I was called here after I was abducted.
easy travel.
All of it, but maybe a special announcement might be made too.
Like what? What do you possibly think?
This shirt's all about. Some people know what it means and some won't.
Oh, he's a Q supporter. He's a Q. He thinks that they're going to announce from the base of Mount Rushmore that John is alive, and he's going to swoop down and holy shit. He's going to swoop down and pick up, you know, they're going to arrest Hillary Clinton in a pizza parlor with the number 666 on top. This guy must have shit himself in Old Town.
I don't know what it means. Explain it to me, Mark.
Well,
where we go one, we go all. It's a Q shirt. Tell us about it. Tell us about it, dude. Tell us about it, and then we'll get you a sandwich.
Possibly JFK Jr. still alive, and he might make an appearance.
Oh, these people have White House passes. Where we go one, we go all. What a bunch of dipshits.
That would be very interesting. Do you think it's likely?
That would be very interesting and also impossible and nutty.
Don't know, but there's a lot.
I don't know if it's possible, but I did spend my last 2 nickels getting an airplane ticket to an event I don't have a pass to, so I can watch fireworks from 1.5 miles away, hoping that the president's going to announce that a Democrat's son who died in a plane crash is going to come back to life and arrest Hillary Clinton for Pizzagate. It could happen.
Good idea for it, so.
And where Where did you get the? What are your sources?
I love how this started out with, he knows us, he loves right side.
Well, there's a lot of alternative sources, of course.
Yeah.
But, well, let's see, particularly...
Reddit.
Well, let's see, I'm trying to think.
Gee, I'm trying to think, where do I get all my weird ideas?
Would be the best that people would know. Yeah, I can't say.
Yeah, just Gary. He lives in my guest house and smokes most of my weed. He says most of it.
It's a Q, part of the Q.
Okay, no worries. Well, that would.
That's a Q. It's a Q. It's part of the Q thing. You know, the kind of rock solid information you would want to have before you. Yeah, 4chan. The kind of rock solid information you'd want to have about something before you purchase the ticket on a plane full of people with COVID to fly to a place that you don't have a ticket for, to see an event you're not going to get to look at, where a dead person will come back to life because he's handsome.
Certainly be insane if that happened today.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. It's a great word for it.
Starship Earth, the bigger picture, which is on the World Wide Web. So Starship Earth, the bigger picture.
Starship Earth, the bigger picture. Guys, I think I've found something I have to dive into. That sounds like a show in and of itself.
What's going on.
So what do you know?
I'm so glad we stopped. I don't know. Let's see. I can't believe they don't bug out on this dude.
Normally, what?
Let me think of a question that isn't batshit bananas real quick.
Where did you get RSPN from? Watching rallies? Do you really like to watch President Trump's rallies? Are you a frequent viewer?
Why do you know our network? Because you obviously watch a lot of nutty shit.
We're doing this, and it wasn't being censored, and he covered the whole event. It's like, yeah, I want to be able to...
Like, yes, they played the whole thing without cutting anything. I don't cut anything. You can watch me. You can watch my network, all you Q supporters. Why don't you watch my transmission, huh? I play the whole thing. I mean, I interrupt it, but I don't cut anything out. You know, as a matter of fact, I cut out anybody who isn't President Trump, okay? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? You better know that right.
Without being censored or deleted or...
Yeah, that's the important thing, is that, you know, we cannot have...
Have you seen any protesters so far today?
Ask him about Antifa. Ask him about that.
Hey, what's that been like?
Yeah, there's a lot happening just where they have the block off to the event. A lot of Native Americans are up there protesting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And by Native Americans, you mean who?
Plus a few others scattered around.
The Dutch, or I don't know what you mean.
We've only seen the few scattered.
Is John a Native American? What does Native mean to you?
But we haven't gone up towards the actual event.
It's pretty big up there.
Okay, did you feel safe when you were up there with peaceful protesting?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, people back away from me when I start talking, so...
Yeah, you know, that's their right. And
absolutely.
We respect that, just like they need to respect our rights, too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you. No, thank you.
And thanks for being a viewer at Right Side Broadcasting. If you don't get to see the fireworks, find them on our stream later.
Have we figured out, is that, honest to God, have we figured out that little flag of his? Is that some sort of, like, Q flag? I think I do make a beautiful woman, actually. I got good bones for that.
All right, what a beautiful
Thank you for the super chat. That's awesome.
town it is.
All right, who else do we got? We got an American flag with a Punisher thing on it. We got a bunch of biker-looking stuff. Look at all these Americans. Come over and talk to us.
What's your name and where are you from?
This woman is the same age I am.
Patterson from LJ, Georgia.
Oh, it's the Hawaiian flag? Thank you.
Jay, Georgia.
Yeah.
My grandparents have a house there. It's so beautiful, yeah.
My parents have a house there. I'm rich. We have multiple houses, and one of them is where you have your entire life. It's funny. We visit there sometimes. Whatever.
We are working down here in where we at? Spokane Creek. And in our RV.
We work in a place. Where do we work? I don't know where we work. We work someplace. Thank you, Steve.
So we're
actually from Atlanta, so we don't know where that is.
Oh, okay. It's like back this way, but it's still part of Keystone.
So you're here working. You're not just here for the fireworks, or?
No, we're selling meth out of our truck.
We were, but
for freedom.
no, we work here until about September 15th, get in the RV and go to the next place.
Are you
Yeah, anybody, because most people don't know that methamphetamines is seasonal.
excited about the 4th of July at Mount Rushmore?
Absolutely. I wish we could have got in.
We should have. I didn't. Apparently, we did not make the cut. Apparently, you had to be a 10 on the president's list. It was like Elvis handing out backstage passes or something. You had to be. What was the word the president used when our 10-year-old daughter asked him? What was the word he used? Fuckable? Good. Okay.
We could have got in.
What are your alternative plans here today?
I don't do alternative plans. We are completely 100% mainstream.
My 50th birthday. These guys are my best friends. Came in from Georgia. My mother and
They will help you. Let me tell you what. If you need to get rid of a corpse,
father came in from Arizona to spend my birthday.
So sweet.
Yeah.
You got a little leg injury, but
oh, I beg your pardon. She's younger than I am. This woman is almost a year younger than me.
you are cute, sure, but you're still a
Cute, sure. I'm
trooper.
50,
We're
bitches.
not. We're
Oh, she's covering up her shirt.
over that. All right, well, happy birthday and have so much fun. Thanks for talking.
Thank you for talking to us. We gave 20 minutes to a QAnon psychopath who thinks John's coming back to life, but your word says bitches on it, so we have to broom you.
To us. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. So, what's that supposed to mean?
Go to YouTube and search Right Side Broadcasting Network. Right.
Don't sell it. Don't. That's cheap. Let him do it. He's off camera. Where is he? He's a Dairy Queen.
You're welcome. Totally live. Already up.
We're happening. This is the thing. There. Look.
Lots of really friendly.
Look at the money in this. Look, they've got a constant live stream to see if any of them speak. See if John parachutes down. I think John's going to come in a squirrel suit.
People here just excited to be a part of a 4th of July in a patriotic area. A lot of celebrations.
Patriotic area. You mean the United States?
Across the country were canceled due to COVID-19. So this is a great alternative, whether you come in person or you're watching at home.
This is so much better to watch from afar. It is. I got to sign off soon, you guys, but this is amazing.
We're just excited to bring you the feed.
I'm so excited. It's super exciting.
Keep walking, show you a little bit more about this side of the town, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan,
That's a great
take
thing,
this.
as Liz mentioned
I'm done.
about Right Side, is that
Ugh. Why did I get the Q guy? You're a Q guy. Talk to him.
you know, we try and bring the most authentic and
yeah, I know. I tried to keep it, but this is just gold.
uninterrupted view as
This may be a whole new direction for the show. Like, I don't even have to wait for Trump to do this. You could just merge this. That's right. I could just ride this in. Hey, welcome. It's 7 o'clock. Here's my show.
are home because of the COVID restrictions, or you're sick yourself.
The Cobrid. Nice,
First of all,
well
we
said.
hope you feel better and are able to get back out and exploring this wonderful nation very soon. But while you aren't, we are certainly glad you tuned in, and we promise to bring you the best coverage you will find anywhere.
Of people without any masks and no
on
social
the internet
distancing.
Today. As we mentioned, we've been out here for over an hour talking with people, saying why they're out here, what 4th of July means to them, and why they have come to see this president. In addition, we're going to continue to be live for a few more hours, and of course, the main event is happening at 8 p.m. local time tonight. That is
What's wrong with his pants?
10 p.m. Eastern, when the president will deliver his remarks at the base of Mount Rushmore.
Did you catch him off guard? Was he glimpsing? And oh,
Just
dude.
following that, there will be a massive fireworks display for the first time in 10 years here in Mount Rushmore, and Right Side will be bringing you complete uninterrupted coverage of that. We're going to be the only network that doesn't charge you to watch us, that doesn't take commercial breaks, and make sure each and every moment of this
Why
broadcast.
is that girl walking back by? Why is the spider shirt? Why'd she go by twice? What the hell is that? Back up. Hold on. Second here. The spider girl has come by twice. Look, she came back out and she hid. Then the other girl walks by. And then she comes back by. What is that spider shirt? What's going on? That's something alien. That's QAnon. What is this? What is that symbol?
Of this broadcast is uninterrupted. It is
the third time.
It's now nearly 4 o'clock, so just over 4 hours until the president is slated to be.
Oh, 4 more hours of this. Oh, this would be sweet. I'm going to scroll ahead. Oh, they drove someplace else, too. Cut to America, we're gonna find the sun shining out, and with our masks off, we know what's going on. Hey, America. Oh, America, don't you be afraid. Look out, we're gonna take a time to hug a police officer, or even if they're woohoo, yeah. Yipe.
Officers actually just came up very fast. We thought the way they were driving that they would actually be law enforcement, so we were being mindful, keeping back. And as soon as we pulled up, we heard these explosions, these loud noises. They were, in fact, blowing out their tires so that physically there's no possible way to move these buses. This is the entrance to the main entrance of Mount Rushmore where President Trump is scheduled to speak today. They are completely shutting down the roads, not allowing anybody into the park where President Trump is scheduled to speak. Again, this happened around 4 p.m. today. President Trump is scheduled
This is not the way we thought it was gonna go.
to begin his speech around 8 p.m. today. So if these vans don't get moved, I don't know what's going to happen. We will be here on the scene reporting live, and we will get more for you. Back to you, Jordan Parker.
Yes, thank you so much, Liz. Again, unfolding right before your eyes now, live on the ground here in Keystone, South Dakota, just a mile from Mount Rushmore, is a protest happening where protesters have physically blocked the road with these passenger vans you see behind me. This happened just about 10 minutes ago as we were pulling up these
Sir,
Sir,
Cops are talking to the
sir, can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your name again, and where are you from?
Phoenix.
I'm John, and I'm from the right side of America.
What in your word is going on here today, right now?
I noticed you're carrying a sign that says "All Lives Matter," and you have the American flag desecrated on your dome. So, could you please tell us your opinion of Native Americans?
Totally.
I'm stunned.
Insane, and I think it's unjustifiable because I don't have a problem. They want to protest, but they could protest on the side of the road. I have no problem at all. They have the right to do so. But blocking a road is totally, absolutely insane, and they have no right to do so. This is nothing but bullying, period. End of story.
And I know bullying. Look at my outfit.
And if the cop's not going to be able to do it, we will.
Oh, that's not like bullying or anything.
Simple as that, because this has been going on for months now, for weeks. In every city you see, this is it. It's called nothing but bullying. And what?
That's nothing but bullying. That's what it's called. I gave it a nickname. Nothing but bullying.
I'm not going to put up with it anymore.
What do you think is a good solution for the cops to do?
I'm not putting it up anymore. I got a Sharpie and some poster board.
Seen how these protesters are. They're angry. They're not listening as well. They're not moving. They've been asked to move already. So what type of force is going to be necessary for this road to open back up and allow these patriots to get to Mount Rushmore to celebrate the 4th of July with their president?
I believe the cops should step on the side and let us handle this thing because their hands are tight. It's as simple as that.
Their hands are tight.
It's very simple.
They're bullying by blocking the streets, so they should let us bully them with AR-15s.
Hands are tight by law. They cannot do.
Their hands are tight. No, their hands are tied is the phrase. You had to count the L's in that sign, didn't you? All lives matter. You might want to put a lives matter. Does word and letter spacing mean anything to you, sir?
But we can.
So you would be essentially willing to put your life on the line?
Absolutely. I was in the front line. I served 14 years in the front line as a U.S. Marine Corps. So I can put up with this. So no problem at all. So if they want to come in, no problem.
It's a good idea. Get this dude who has definitely a gun in his truck. Get him wound up so he feels the need to go shoot some people. That's a great idea.
2 hands and 2 feet. I got no weapons, but I can take care of these people.
Everybody wants kung fu fighting.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for threatening people.
Very powerful, and thank you for serving 14 years in the United States Marine Corps. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Keep us updated.
I think this is totally absurd, and I think the cops should just step aside, and because
let us handle it.
Once you start,
we'll set up what we would like to refer to as the MOP, the MROP, the Mount Rushmore Occupied Province.
Touching these people, harassing them, they're going to get locked.
The Mount Rushmore Autonomous Zone, the Jason Mraz My name's Jason, and I want to set up from RAS.
Well, so the best thing it is, let us do it. Let us go.
Yeah, that lady in the red, let her handle it. I want to see this. Attack of the Karens.
There and then take care of this. Because this is going to happen. If you don't take care of it right now, this will keep on going and going. And it has happened for weeks on now. Look at
Weeks of this stuff. Let's see. Let me guess. They start pushing people back, and then the cops use the cow catchers on the front to push the vehicles out of the way. Let me guess. Yeah? They pop their tires, and they'll just drill out, and they'll deal with them, and then, yeah, they're going to... People are laying under the cars, so they can't move them. That's good time. Yeah, here they come. And push everybody out, and then, but never forget what we're here to see.
Just civilian wreckers. They're going to move, presumably going to remove these vehicles that have been disabled across the roadway here. But of course, since they are just civilian wreckers, they're going to have to be kept safe before they go up there and do that. And in order to do that, we're going to have to remove some of these protesters who may...
Got to breach past those, push the back so the wreckers can move in and remove the blockade from the road.
It was a decent plan. I'm just going to say this is going to nullify their renter's insurance, though.
Which is why wreckers are staged just behind our location now in anticipation of removing those. Again, a few hours ago, we said we were going to bring you guys...
Your audio quality is super, right side. Money well spent.
That promise, because what we found is the situation you're seeing now continues to move in. Wreckers have arrived to physically tow these vans out of here. And it smells like marijuana.
And not only are people blocking the road and flattening tires, and the cops have had to come in, but it smells like marijuana. I'm getting a contact buzz. I'm feeling munchy already. And this is, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. It smells like marijuana.
And Trump supporters and protesters are now...
Look at the dude. He's like, that is a citizen blogger right there. That dude. Wait, roll it back. Hold on. This guy. That dude. Look at this guy. He is ready. He is blogging. I'm going to capture all of this, but I will be prepared for the resistance. Every single person there, a Tom Hartman book sale waiting to happen. There's not a person here who doesn't own a Tom Hartman book. I'm just saying. And if they don't, they're slacking. I don't blame Tom. And he does have 65 books out, so it's not like you don't have choices. Whitey Ted, I had to shut my mic off because I was saying pot things. Look at them filming these jackbooted thugs who are wearing stuff in case we throw stuff. Look at the demilitarize the police. Yeah, the military doesn't use plastic shields. Thanks, Amos. And his mic is done. Like, I don't know if he thinks he's talking or what. Excuse me. We're stopping this. We're protesting. Could they just pick a cop that looks more severe and psycho? He looks like an extra in a Steven Seagal movie. Stunt belly.
Just put his belly up to my daughter.
Tell me if you can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, fire it up.
We're back here in Keystone, South Dakota, live on the ground. Jordan Parker.
I've got a massive contact buzz. I've just eaten a bag of chips. I feel guilty already.
Right Side Broadcasting Network. We just did a quick battery swap to make sure that our mic can continue
getting beaten.
Continue to broadcast here. So we're on the ground.
This is so bad. It's even attracted the weird cult people who live in the mountains.
In Keystone, South Dakota, where these protesters are now finally being broken up. The wreckers are moving in. The wreckers are on the way. They have cleared the area where the vans are that, again, were disabled. Their tires were either removed or...
No, they're not. No, they're not. They haven't moved them yet. They're right there. They just rolled them in, turned them sideways, and flattened the tires. And
slashed.
Look at the girl in the blue vest that says legal reporter. Is that what it says? Where do I get one of those vests? Why don't I have one of those to do the show in? What if somebody throws tear gas in here?
Awesome job to our cameraman Gage.
A quick battery swap so that he can continue talking, Jeff Ninecow.
Who is in the action up there with the protesters. The wreckers have arrived to move these vans, to reopen up the roads. National Guard, police working hand in hand to disband these protesters and reopen the road, reopen the road up.
Some of them are protesters. Others may have been in the process of painting action figures. We can't tell from the masks that they're wearing.
Mount Rushmore. There's some very heated people here, some very emotional.
Some of them smell like pot.
Very intense people.
Sorry, marijuana.
Screaming, shouting. There's some people saging us, it appears. Getting.
I was corrected while my mic was dead. That is not marijuana. That is sage. I don't morally see the difference. Tom is definitely a great man. We love Tom. Tom does a drop for my radio show. We love Tom.
Whiff of sage or something else. Don't really know.
A whiff of sage, something else. Don't really know. Because somebody immediately went, how do you know what marijuana smells like, mister?
But yes,
and I was like, I mean...
the protesters, they're
I went to college, sort of.
Saging the observers, saging the police. And right now, if...
there's an observer saging the police.
Get a shot of it.
That's nice of them. Breaks up some of the bad energy around them.
The wreckers are...
I would be happy to feng shui the police precinct if they'd like, if they thought that would help and smooth things along.
About to clear out the
little shui
vans. They're lowering the beds. I don't think this is what these tow truck drivers had in mind today when they came to work. But
what were they expecting? Vans with flat tires. Weird.
Nonetheless, this is what we're doing.
This is it. This is my life now. I was supposed to be here praising almighty President Trump, and yet the fake news media has destroyed my dream.
How much did Soros pay for today?
Trump supporters exchanging words with indigenous protesters.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? How much is George Soros paying you today? Yeah, it is clearly, Dark Fae, you're right. It's not pot, it's Nag Champa, and he can't tell the difference.
Protesting the sacred land.
Smudging before judging is a great idea. Yeah, help, they saged me. It was the drive-by saging.
On the ground, mix of protesters. There's all races, genders here. Large group of people. At one point, there's probably 200.
Wait a minute. Did Right Side Media just recognize all genders? And you thought there was going to be no progress today.
A large majority of them have seemed to have left, departed. We're unsure where they went, but
they went to a fallback position where they've got bicycles that they're going to set on fire.
Assume that the majority of them didn't want to get caught up in any violence or get injured, but there's a few dozen still on here or still down here, holding their ground, trying to do what they can.
Yeah, they're only about 80% reporters.
To hold.
There are more people filming the stuff than is actually part of the stuff.
Hold their ground here. Again, these wreckers are now moving out these vans.
Smudging before judging is a great T-shirt. We'll make one.
Law enforcement are attempting to jack them up, try and put the wheels back on so they can drag these things out of here, reopen up the road in anticipation of the president's arrival. Again, this is quite an interesting situation. We were on the ground.
Interesting.
Here about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago when this first unfolded. We've been on the ground.
Oh my God! This just goes on.
Either beanbags or the rubber bullets. So we do have some, at least one sheriff holding on to a shotgun here, which would probably be...
Yeah, that shoots beanbag.
Either beanbag or...
Yeah, it's beanbag.
Rubber bullet.
Not rubber bullets. Look at the end of the barrel.
We certainly hope...
Don't be dumb.
That doesn't happen.
I mean, I understand you don't know the difference between sage, Nag Champa, or weed, but you know the difference between a regular gun with rubber bullets in it and a beanbag gun.
Be deployed. But we will definitely report on whatever happens at this point. And
this is my Pulitzer waiting to happen.
Still standing across the road, but we are able to get rid of these vehicles. They're holding up some sort of a banner or tarp or something about...
Oh, banners and tarps. Quick, get out the live ammo.
6 feet behind the police line. And they still have some signs being held up with One of them is Black Lives Matter. Earlier, I was talking to a man who said he is a Native American. He seemed to be more on the fence when it comes to which side of the protest that he would be on. But he pointed out that he believes that some of these other protesters who are protesting for different reasons may actually just be escalating this for their own purposes. So
you mean like white nationalist boogaloo boys? Say it ain't so.
He pointed out that some of the people that were arrested who made contact with the National Guard were not Native, which is kind of interesting. It seems like he may have
curious that
certain people that may be escalating.
They didn't smell like sage or weed at all. They reeked of Adderall.
While other people are peacefully protesting. And we've seen that in cities across the nation. You have Black Lives Matter protesters who may want to be peaceful. There are peaceful protesters in there. And then you have others in there who we don't know what they're doing, but they certainly seem to be escalating. And it almost seems to be intentional. That was...
Can you accidentally escalate?
The sentiment that I was hearing from some of the bystanders as we...
This is too good. All right, I got to sign off because this could go on forever. This is a live thing. They just go on forever. I'm going to sign off because I got to get ready for my show in an hour and a half. You guys are awesome. Yeah, this is just goofy. He's just making shit up because he's filling time. That's one of the reasons why a commercial or a break or a limit in your production is a good idea, so that you don't just chatter to fill time. Luckily, as a commentator, I can just kind of joke about stuff. And I have, of course, wit. It's spontaneous and quite rare, so I don't have to worry about, saying the wrong thing too often, even though it happens, but mostly it's on purpose. I do say the wrong thing on occasion, but mainly it's, for my own ends. But I will see you guys later on in the show, and I'm going to post a link for everybody for the Flapper Show for the Patreon folks, and I will see you guys in a little bit. And I don't know how they'll do it, but we'll figure it out. Because I don't want to take money from Flappers because they're the ones who really need it. That's kind of why I'm doing it. But at the same time, I'm doing a show, so you guys should be able to see it. But there you go. You guys are awesome. I will see you later. Remember, I will be here tomorrow. The show is at 9 to 11 a.m. on WCPT Radio. You can watch Hal anytime you want. I will occasionally make an appearance. We'll see. And there will be a lot more fun to be had. And tomorrow, no doubt, we'll have clips from the event tonight to play for the show tomorrow. And then, of course, a regular stream as usual. And you guys are wonderful. And I will see you next time. It's so wonderful. Gosh, I'm going to miss you guys. I really am. See you tomorrow.
See this? This is my boomstick!
All right. Who wants some? Who's next?
Wah-wah-wee-wah! Nice. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
Just looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
That's great psychology. Why don't you just say something bad about my mother?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of money.
Dr. Evil. I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Groovy.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Leon's getting larger.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
Gentlemen,
on. You can't fight in here. This is the war room. Bring out your dead.
Beef jerky?
Oh, no, son, thank you very much. No, it gives me the wind, something terrible.
Oh.
Groovy.
That was really cool, by the way. That was really cool, by the way. That was really cool, by the way.
I gotta barbecue your ass, molasses!
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
Moon River. Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
He thinks I made it up.
Unbelievable.
The sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
All right? Stop right there, and I'll bring back the sun.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
To be a moron. To be moronical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
I'm dead sexy.
It's good to be the king.
Groovy.
I'm just a happy camper.
Hail to the king, baby.
I'm your huckleberry. I'm your huckleberry.
Groovy. Groovy.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made.
I am a HAL 9000 computer.
Soon we will leave this lame planet and fly through outer space with cool aliens who like us. It is going to be awesome! Zoltan!
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world known as the Pentaveret, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaveret?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Bring out your dead. He has no.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Take off, eh?
Welcome to the real world.
Sorry, I farted. Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
Bring out Jidid!
To be moron. To be radical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
All I'm offering is the truth.
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Call me Snake. Call me Snake.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Call me Snake.
I'm just a happy camper.
Hail to the king, baby.
I'm just a happy camper.
Call me Snake.
Groovy.
Listen, Betty, don't start up with your white zone shit again.
Nice. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Easy, real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
The golden rule. He who has the goal makes the rule.
Take off, eh?
A chat with you and somehow death loses its sting.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife, Karen.
To be moron. To be moronical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
Shop smart, shop S-smart.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
See this? This is my boomstick!
He thinks I made it up.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?